So what is up, guys and girls? I want to start this one off by saying thank you. Thank you for clicking on this video, first of all. And if you've been here before, thank you for all of your likes and all of your comments. I want to know, are you a ZooZ fan? If you did not already know, ZooZ is having a contest. I'm off to visit Brentley Builds in New Jersey. We will be going over his contribution to that competition. Now, one of the components that he has for his build that's got me really excited is the battery. He's using a battery from Powerful Lithium. Now, if you guys want a battery for your build, or for any e-bike for that matter, you can save some money by using my code. So without any further ado, let's get into this one. All right, so in front of me, we have Brentley Builds, and he is participating in the ZooZ Skills for Thrills Custom Bike Build-Off.
Yes.
What got you into this? Why? Why build a ZooZ?
So I always saw a bunch of ZooZ around New York. I thought they were cool. I always like BMX style builds. I did a BMX style build on my Super 73. So I like that aesthetic, being a child of the 90s. And I basically got an opportunity to ride one the last PL ride. I forget his name. He's a nice guy. He's got a full frame bag by Bobby.
Oh, that's my boy Carlos.
Yeah, Carlos.
Yeah?
I saw Carlos at the last PL ride, and I was like, yo, let me try your bike. I always wanted to, you know, ride a ZooZ. So tried it. I was like, this bike feels pretty sturdy. Like, the frame felt good. I liked the seating position. I like how long the seat is. You could easily make it a 2-passenger bike if you wanted to like cruise somewhere really quick. So yeah, I just thought it was really a cool frame. And then when I was talking to him, he mentioned that they have this competition right now, because I always want to buy frames. I never want to buy a complete. I don't need completes. I'm going to change everything. So the fact that they had frames for sale was interesting, and then the fact that they had a competition was interesting. So I liked the idea of, you know, I also didn't have anything I was building at the time. Like I was kind of in a creative lull, if you will. Like I was looking for a project anyway. So that happened, and then I was like, you know what? Let me just try to bang out a ZooZ build really quick, because I only have till June 30th. The competition's going. The competition started. It's 3 months long, and I'd missed like the first month of it. I just wanted to challenge myself a little, build something cool, and also potentially win some money, because hey, $5 doesn't suck. So I think that, I mean, like, plus their other prizes are good too. You got your second place, which is, you know, 3K to their site, so basically a whole other bike, or third place is 1K to their site, so half a bike almost. So yeah, it's just it's a cool little competition. I always thought it was a cool company. Frame's solid as hell from what I can tell, so I think it could take good power. The goal is not only to win, but to be the fastest, if not one of the fastest ZooZ in the world. So because I don't have a lot of time to finish this build, I had to get the parts pretty quickly. I got the last part yesterday, the motor. So the first thing I bought though was the ZooZ frame. That I bought the ZooZ frame kit, which comes with frame, seat, forks, handlebars. I think that's it. So got that. Currently have two bikes that are like pretty different. So I wanted to like round out the stable looks wise, you know, but still like make it a very Brentley build bike. I've got some, you know, call signs like my checkers and shit. So I wanted to like keep it me, but still different than my current two builds. So yeah, so I always like gold shit. I figured I could do a gold frame, and then the name is pretty obvious, but I call it Gold E because it's gold e-bike. So it just kind of, that's what I guess not inspired me, but that was my like vision for it, was trying to come up with something that was unique, eye-catching, and still like within my build parameters, which is always just fast and pretty. If it's fast and if it's pretty, I'm happy. So that's always the goal. So far I'm getting to pretty, and got to make it fast now. But anyway, so parts. So I got the frame. Then I was like, all right. So I was pretty immediately sure of what I was going to do power-wise. That's why I had to think more about the design of it. Power-wise, I knew I was going to do 72 volt. Use a decent controller, nothing crazy. It's like the baby Onyx controller, but I'll run it at its maximum, so that's still faster than an Onyx, or it should be at least. And then I knew I'd get a 5K hub motor for, well, actually that's not true. So I was flip-flopping on the motor for a bit. I have a CYC motor, like just mid-drive motor that can run at 5 kilowatt that I had on an old Mario build. It's a cool little motor because it makes a fun sound. It zips a little. It's like, which is kind of nice. I like a fun sound. However, mid-drive install is a little bit more complicated than a just straight hub motor drop-in. Plus, I got a relatively good deal on a 5 kilowatt through our homies at Powerful Lithium. And plus, I had some experience with that CYC, and I did decide to go to a 5K after that on my previous Mario build. So I know the 5K is a more capable motor just because it doesn't get as heat saturated. It's a much bigger stator. So I ended up going with more power. So I landed on hub for simplicity and power. So yeah, that was my thought process with the motor decision. I still want to use that CYC for something. It just sounds cool. I just want to use it because it sounds cool. It overheats like crazy. You should everyone watching this, get a BBS HD before you get a CYC. It's a much better motor. It doesn't heat saturate nearly as much, and it's way cheaper. Use me as your guinea pig. But it's still cool. It sounds cool. Anyway, what else? So brakes. I got some fancy brakes for this thing. I'll save that. You'll see them, but they're fancy. I spent some coin, and they're aesthetically pleasing. They're silver. I guess, what else do I have going on with this thing? So seat, I'm still undecided on. So because I have, a good friend in Bobby Bundles, aka Vinyl by Bobby, he's very good at upholstery. So I'm definitely going to be going to him for at least a battery bag. That'll be how I put the bigger battery in it. But I'm undecided on if I want to change the seat out at all or not. I might just do some like stitching on the stock seat. Mackey's got a guy for that, and I think it'd be cool to do some like gold lettering on the black seat. So we shall see. What's nice about the frame kit is from ZooZ is they did give you the option of chrome or blacked out front forks, and obviously I went with chrome. So we'll be running a chrome fork up front, chrome bars, and a number plate. I got some fun stuff in store for the number plate. We'll see. I don't have a final design for that one yet, but I'm gonna do something creative up there. Yeah, I don't know. I just hit up Dance Comp for a bunch of BMX parts. It's a good little site. You can get a bunch of cool stuff from them. I got a half-link chain for this thing. Some S&M pedals. Yeah, I got some carbon fiber bits for this thing. Keep that on the DL. You'll see them eventually. So yeah, it's basically just another Brentley build, pretty and fast. That's the goal. These are stock ZooZ bars. I did want the profile of the bike and everything to look like a ZooZ. I didn't want to go crazy and run some like Cafe Racer bars or some shit like that. I wanted it to still look like a proper BMX bike, so I went with their high-rise bars. I think these are 11 inches, something like that. I don't know. They're tall. They're nice and tall, and should give me a good like seating position. Plus, you can run their ZooZ number plate, and I'm a number plate fan, so big bars it is. This is the stock ZooZ number plate. I like it. It's a cool design. They did a good job with it. Kind of looks like an SE a little bit, but with their own spin. So that'll make it onto the bike.
I like that you got some gold zip ties.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm because I'm gonna have to zip tie that fender.
Do you want to show them?
Oh yeah. In my
that's really cool.
My ever-ending need to be matchy-matchy. I got some gold zip ties to match the gold frame because there will be some parts I need to zip tie to the frame. So
this is nice.
Yeah.
What are you putting on?
So these are for the BMX heads out there. You'll be familiar, but these are GT Smoothies. Typically used as like a more like racy, trackish tire. I will be honest. From what I understand, they're quite sketchy in the rain. Like you'll be slipping and sliding if you're on any of like the white lines or anything on the road. So I'm gonna try them out just because I thought they looked cool and I think they'd be aesthetically like really work for the bike. But if I don't end up liking them, I'll probably go to like a scooter tire or something with a little bit more puncture protection because these are still straight bike tires.
Yeah, it looks like a slick.
Yeah, it's slick as hell. So one thing I always liked about one thing I always liked was reflective vinyl. So, and I like checkers. It's on a lot of my bikes. One of my calling cards. So I found this cool material or like vinyl that is black in the daytime, but when you put a flash against it at night, it kind of lights up silver gold-ish, which I think is just cool. I mean, it makes you more.
Is that what you put there?
Yeah, that's what this is.
You cut that and.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it took a while. This is not like a stencil or anything. This is me cutting out 1/2-inch squares and then placing them individually. Yeah.
That's nice.
That was my mod yesterday. Oh, and then I do have to shout out Mackie, Mac Mittens. He made me this like PK Ripper style logo for the bike. I had asked him about. I found the font firm and everything, and he was nice enough to cut that out for me. The controller is actually on my Super 73 still. I'm going to be taking that off the Super 73 and putting it on this, and then getting a more powerful controller for my Z1.
Z1?
Yeah, because I mean Mackie's got the 300, and I don't like that. So so I need to catch up to him.
Stepping it up.
Yeah. But I know the PL guys are building one of these things too, and I think they'll probably use something similar to that. But we'll still be pretty fast together, so I'm happy. All right, here we go. Here's a fun little piece. I had this on my Mario too. It's a
oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a Shadow Conspiracy half-link chain. This thing's awesome. really freaking strong. There's actually a guy right now running, I think, a 10 kilowatt setup on a Suron using this chain because it's a lot of.
I want to see that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
And more importantly, I need a chain for my build.
Hey, yeah, the half link is.
I love that.
Yeah, half links. They're not cheap as far as chain goes. This is probably like a $30-$40 chain, something like that. But it never breaks.
It looks beautiful.
Yeah, it never breaks and it looks great. Exactly. And then just to keep with the BMX theme, a classic brand GT where I got my tires from. So I wanted to bring that theme through and just use the similar parts. Also, I wanted to be able to pedal this bike at speed. So for that, I had to get like a higher tooth count. This crankset, it's OTA overflying top attack. I don't know. They're on Amazon. They're pretty affordable. They're like $50, $40, something like that. They got a bunch of colors. I got one on my Z1. Works well. Lets me pedal it at high speed. So I like that. Because I don't want this to be like a all throttle build all the time. Right. Probably will be, but my goal is to at least be able to help if I can.
I want to see that.
Yeah. Figured it matches the chrome a little bit on the fork, so I'm trying to pull that silver through. Another fun part are my 101 pedals from S&M. S&M makes great BMX products. These are again not crazy expensive. You're looking at like $25 for a set of these, so good value for your money in my opinion. They're nice and solid, and will match some of the white on the bike. I bought all these parts and I have all the parts I need, but I'm trying to get the build complete and running within the next like 2 weeks to month-ish, so that way if I have some aesthetic stuff I want to change out, I can still do that if I don't like the way it looks when it all mocks up. So pedals are one of those things that can be like easily swapped for like aesthetics, and that's why I didn't spend a bunch of money on them. I got a fun throttle for this one. I haven't used it yet. I like an integrated throttle because I want to keep the handlebars pretty clean on this one. That's usually a goal of mine, but I like when you can get like a throttle that's got like a 3-in-1 capability, right? So I've got like an on-off switch on this guy. It'll have a voltmeter on top, so I don't have to like check my battery off my phone, and then obviously thumb throttle on the bottom. So, you know, and staying with the ZooZ theme, I'm going with thumb throttle. I did have a domino throttle that I was originally going to put on my Sur-Ron that I thought about using for this, but I don't think I am anymore, just because it's more within like the BMX aesthetic to use a thumb throttle, so you have that full like grip width. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. When you're running a big power build, you need torque arms. So the torque arms that come with this motor don't really fit the dropout of this. There's just not any metal for it to bite onto, because it would come out to like here if that was the case. So I'm gonna attempt to use the stock ZooZ torque arm because it's pretty solid. They use them to also like adjust the position of the wheel, the axle within the dropout, which is kind of cool. Get really precise like my Sur-Ron, which is appealing. But the thing about these is they're made for the stock ZooZ axles, which are smaller than the axles that I'm going to be using for this build, because I'm using that big 5K. So I'm going to have to do some light machining to massage this out a couple mils. I think like hopefully no more than 3. I think I'm going to be able to do that with just like a Dremel and a drill, but and some filing. But we'll see. That's one of the challenges of this build is the torque arm situation, because if these don't work, I've got another option in mind that I used on a previous Mario build that works pretty well, but I wanted to, again, kind of keep a lot of the ZooZ aesthetic stock parts stock if I could, you know what I mean? Just because I think the community would appreciate that, and I think that it's just a it's a cool little piece. I like this little adjustment torque arm. I just wish it was a couple millimeters bigger or more open. So if you're gonna buy a ZooZ frame kit, there's some just small parts you need that don't come with it. It doesn't come with a headset. It doesn't come with torque arms. It doesn't come with a bottom bracket. So just like little finishing things you got to kind of piece together or ask them for. They're very helpful. They will sell them to you individually if you just hit up their customer service. But I didn't realize they wouldn't come with it until I got the frame kit. As far as builds go, I mean, it's pretty simple build, which is another thing that attracted me to it. I didn't want like a crazy project. Like I'm not building a Sur-Ron again, nothing like that. Just wanted something I could kind of throw together and make fast and pretty. I will be doing some fun lighting stuff with this bike. I have well, I have to buy it still, actually. I have an idea for putting a motion detecting light on this thing. I have one on my Sur-Ron. It works really well, so I'm gonna use that. And then I'm gonna be doing a custom headlight build for this thing because I can't help myself. I haven't decided if I'm going to run dual or single yet. I think I might. This might be my first single headlight build because it's just a more streamlined frame, and I think 2 might be too much. But we're going to see. I'm leaning towards using this light here. It's a nice little. I think it's a floodlight for like off-roading. I had it in my garage, and I threw some electric vinyl, some yellow vinyl on it, and put a cool little X with that. I had a bunch of spray paint that was gold and some like white primer and clear and shit. So I wanted to see what I could do with my own like current like stable and my own hands before I spent like another $300 on powder coat. So I had a remote that was unpainted, and I did a little test run on that. The frame, again, really nice frame from the factory. It came anodized black. I think it's steel. It's magnetic, so it's some kind of ferrous. and I was like, shit, it's anodized. Like, how can I like really paint over this? So what I did is I just roughed it up a little bit with like, I think I used like 1200 grit. So this is the engine enamel color I had, like just in a can from some other projects. And then I put down, I think 2 or 3 of these to get coverage. And then after that, I brought out it's a Rust-Oleum glitter. It's kind of expensive. It's like 15 bucks a can. But basically, it's just a can full of glitter. That's what it is. Like when I was spraying this stuff, you could see the particulates like in the air. Like they were just flying everywhere. I wanted to make sure I used as much as I could on the frame, which is why the seat is actually not painted the way the rest of the frame is, because that's going to get covered by the actual seat itself. This I all just left pretty much stock and made sure there was enough overspray that I covered the edges. Because again, it's anodized, so it's not like it's not protected.
All right, quick question for you. When it's done, you give me a call so I can come back and give a little video, a little update for the viewers?
I'll let you ride it.
I'll bring my chest cam for that one. What was the investment, the financial investment that you made towards this project?
It's a good question. So that was part of my rationale to start this project. I'll be honest, I looked at a lot of the Skills for Thrills projects out there and I judged whether or not I thought I could make something that the community would appreciate more or potentially vote for as much or more. And I thought, all right, the competition's stiff but not crazy. So I was like, all right, so it's 5K cash if I win, or 3K or 1K to the store. Those are not small amounts of money. And I had a lot of parts from a power perspective for this build already. Like I had a battery for it that I could use already. I had a controller for it I could use already. So that's like, close to $1,000 right there that I didn't have to spend. So all in, I think I've probably spent a good, let me think about this. I'm probably close to around 1.5 to 2K in parts, which is, as far as like fast e-bike projects go, very cheap. Which is another reason why I wanted to do this build, because I looked at my parts list and I was like, this is not crazy, and I could potentially win all of it back. Well guys, thanks for watching me talk through beginning stages and kind of thought process behind my ZooZ build for the Skills for Thrills challenge. Again, you'll see me post about it on my Instagram at Brentley Builds. Give me a follow if you could. I generally post weekly, 1 or 2 times a week. It's always going to be some kind of PEV related content.
And if you guys are like me and appreciate something like this, stay tuned, look for the updates. He has some more parts that are going on to this bike. We're going to include that in a future episode. If you guys have any ideas, please leave them in the comments below. He's always open to what you guys have to say. This is a competition, so we will need your vote. Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll have to look for the ZooZ updates. Yeah. And if I see anything now before I put out this video, I'll include it in the description below. So follow his journey. Yeah. Again, it's at Brentley Builds on Instagram. It looks like voting is going to start in July. So don't forget, look out for my boy Brentley Builds.
We didn't go over every part I currently have or like I'm planning on putting on this bike. I do want to leave some stuff up to surprise. So you'll see what brakes I'm running. You'll see some other like cool tidbits I'm adding to the bike as I go through the final stages of the build, but trying to keep some of that stuff under wraps so I have some advantages going into the final voting round.